Well, let's see, Courtney. It doesn't feel like summer out there right now, but one of the best ways to sort of make it feel like it's pretend summer, sort of, is to have seafood, right? And this morning, Top of the Bay is with us this morning, and they're cooking up some Cajun seared scallops. Kevin Naylor with us. Good to see you again, Kevin.
Thanks for having me again.
All right, so Top of the Bay, Oakland Beach.
Yep,
still
right on
beautiful,
the water.
Right?
Still beautiful. Like you said, no beach traffic today. Come on down and visit us.
See these guys, right? Plenty of parking. I know you told me last time you were here that you can actually see harbor seals, right? When
on occasion, you know, especially in the morning when the tide is high, you come down and they come up and sit on the seawall.
So cool.
People, it's great down there.
Oh, that is great. All right, so what is also great is the fact that you have scallops the size of little softballs in here
Yes,
with us
we're
this morning.
doing
So what are you cooking?
Sea scallops today. The bay scallops are the smaller scallops.
Right.
These are sea scallops. They're sweeter, better. With this dish especially, you don't want to use the bay scallops because they retain a lot of water. They actually put a chemical in them, and it's really not very good. These are all natural, nothing in them. So when we do cook them after, they won't have a lot of spattering in the pan, and everything will be great. You get a nice sweetness from them. The sugars come out and caramelize, and they're excellent.
Cajun scallops with a little kick to it. And in our next segment, we're going to talk about some of the wines that you may want to pair with this dish. And we'll be cooking up the scallops in our final segment with Kevin Naylor, Top of the Bay, with us this morning on the Road Show. You can find the recipe and the ingredients online, as always, at foxprovidence.com. All right, well, we told you earlier we have Kevin Naylor from Top of the Bay Restaurant. He's putting together the scallops this morning, a Cajun seared scallop. And this is Sean McNamara. He is from Cupcake Vineyards, and he has a wine that would go really well with this scallop dish, right?
Absolutely, yeah. It's our Marlborough New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc, and the reason it goes great with the scallops is Kevin talked before about the saltiness and the sweetness. This wine is very high in acid, crisp, a lot of citrus, so it pairs fantastic with scallops.
Talk about how do you discover a certain wine that goes with a certain dish? I mean, because there's so many different types of foods and seafoods that Kevin has at Top of the Bay. Like, what's the philosophy behind pairing these two together?
Well,
you just get to try everything?
Basically, yeah. You hit it on the
gig.
head. Yeah, trial and error. It basically boils down to the first rule of thumb I always tell people is if you're not, they say red with meat and white with fish. If you don't like white wine, don't try a white wine. Stick with what you like. But you want to try to go like with this wine, high acid with saltiness and sweetness. If something's a little sweeter, you want to actually go with something that's not sweet. You want to try to balance it out.
Okay, and so this wine would say maybe you'd stay if you had like a swordfish dish, maybe not with it, or would go with it, or
this would go great with swordfish. It all kind of depends on what Kevin's going to put in it as well. With this particular dish, there's a lot going on, and that's why the structure and the acidity of this wine will stand up to it.
Awesome. All right, Sean McNamara from Cupcake Vineyards. Thanks for coming in this morning on the Road Show.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. We'll try that wine with the scallops that Kevin's going to put together in a little bit. You can find the recipe and the ingredients and more about Top of the Bay on our website, foxprovidence.com. All right, we're cooking this morning with Top of the Bay Restaurant, Oakland Beach, and we're trying to think summer thoughts this morning, although it's not even close to feeling like summer out there. We've got some nice Cajun seared scallops this morning, and Chef Kevin Naylor starting the process here. So what's first? Put a little oil in there?
Yeah, we'll start with the oil in the pan. I'm going to get the scallops going. I'll get these in the flour. It's a 2-to-1 Cajun spice to flour.
Okay.
If you want it a little spicy, you could add a little more Cajun spice.
Yeah.
Less spicy, you could go total just flour, salt, and pepper. It's really up to people's personal preference.
Okay.
Today we're going to be with the sour cream, cucumber, and dill little sauce on top. So if you want to get that going for me, that'd be great.
Right here?
You just take all these ingredients, put them all, just dump them right in that bowl right there.
I don't think I can mess that up, but there's a chance. So you're going to do that over there with the scallops.
I'm going to take care of the scallops over there.
How long will you cook those for once you've got them in there?
These are pretty big, so maybe a minute and a half on each side.
Oh, okay.
Scallops, actually, people, a lot of times people come to the restaurant and say my scallops are undercooked. I mean, it's a personal preference, but scallops, the best way, you really want them to be a little undercooked. You want them like a medium, like you're cooking a steak medium. And when you add oil to your pan, you see that nice sizzle in there.
Right.
You want to be able to do that. Actually, I want to turn it up just a little bit more.
So I'm putting all of this stuff in here, right?
Yes,
okay.
yeah. Just mix it all right together.
All right. But you can eat scallops. You can eat them raw.
Oh, you could actually eat them raw, right? People, I think...
It's not like you're going to get sick if you...
No, absolutely not. Like we said, it's all personal preference.
Right. So what's going on at Top of the Bay these days? It's obviously a lot of parking over there because no one's at the beach,
like
right?
You said, beach traffic. No beach
no
traffic
beach traffic,
today.
right? But we talked earlier that You know, if you're lucky, sometimes you're down at Top of the Bay on Oakland Beach. You might even see some harbor seals just chilling out on the rocks.
Absolutely, especially in the morning.
Mornings, high tides. That's so cool. You know,
Come down. We've mentioned before, we have our lunch special.
Yeah.
Clam cakes, chowder, choice of an entree, dessert, all for $9.95.
Really?
You come down, it's really a great deal. And then at dinner time, starting at $14.95, we have choice of an appetizer, entree, and dessert, and I think it's a glass of wine, domestic beer.
$14.95.
$14.95. Starting at $14.95.
Starting at $14.95.
Oh, we have chicken marsala. We have the Rhode Island favorites.
Yeah.
Chicken parm, chicken marsala, big
man.
scrod, plenty of big scrod.
So good right now. And there's probably a website, right, that people can go to.
Yep. Top of the Bay Restaurant.com.
TopOfTheBayRestaurant.com. Okay.
Yeah.
So we got all that covered. Check them out. And
again, if you like us on Facebook, you sign up for email deals, and you come down and we'll take care of you.
Social media, Top of the Bay Restaurant. I love it. All right. So we're going about a minute and a half on one side.
Yeah.
And now the other side. Flip it.
Side.
What are you cooking over here in this pan?
Today I'm just going to pair with some just some julienne vegetables.
Okay.
So we kind of make it look pretty for the camera.
Right. It's all about appearance.
It's all about appearance. Everybody eats with their eyes.
All right. So what are you going to do with my sauce over here that I
Well, as once we
constructed?
put it all on the plate, we're just going to put a dollop on each one.
Oh, on each one of the scallops.
Yeah.
Okay. And what kind of scallops are these again?
These are sea scallops.
Sea scallops. Okay.
It's very important when making this dish to use sea scallops, because as we said before, with the bay scallops retain water, and when we put it in here, you'd really have a lot of spattering and and it just
these are the other ones are smaller, right?
They're the smaller ones.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. God, that smells so good. And how do you know when they're finished? Is it just? I mean, is it like with steak? You can just put your finger on it.
It's a feel. I mean, you poke at them a little bit. I mean, I know. I would say these are pretty big. The scallops you get in the store are maybe a little bit smaller, so a minute and a half on each side would be pretty good.
All right, so we got about 30 seconds. So how would you begin to plate that dish, just so the folks can get an idea at home about what it would look like when you serve this at the Top of the Bay? So there's your color there. That's great.
And then the sauce on top of each one.
Just a little dollop on top?
Just like that.
Well, that's how it would look. Wow, that's great. We'll let those cool off a little bit, and I'll give them a try there at the end of the show. You can find the recipe and the ingredients online, as always, at foxprovidence.com. Check out Top of the Bay there on Oakland Beach. Thanks for coming in this morning, Kevin. Good to see you again.